In this episode of the Transformation Project, we are so excited to be speaking to Manda Jennings. Manda is a spiritual transformation coach, certified quantum healer, a master practitioner of NLP and timeline therapy, and a certified master hypnotherapist. She believes you have everything you need within you and anything is possible. Working with the unconscious mind, emotions, and divine source energy, Manda guides you home to your true self, the essence of who you truly are and who you are here to be. You are enough, you are worthy, and you are whole. This is an absolutely beautiful episode to start our year, and we'll be talking today about the power of intention. Please join us and enjoy today's episode.
Hello and welcome to the Transformation Project, a podcast and community for women who are looking to transform into the best version of themselves no matter where they are at. A place where you can listen, learn, and laugh along with us as we dive deep into different topics to help you live a happier, healthier, and more fulfilled life. Remember, we are all learning here together, and therefore the content and opinions of the hosts and our guests should not be taken as medical advice. Please consult your healthcare professional for any medical questions.
Hello there. I am so excited today to be introducing my lovely friend Manda to our podcast for the Transformation Project. I felt like she would be an incredible person for us to chat with today. I wanted to share a little bit of her bio. I know that we'll have done that already as well, but as a spiritual transformation coach and a certified quantum healer, she studied as a master practitioner of NLP and timeline therapy and a studied certified master hypnotist at the American Board of Hypnotherapy Examiners. There is just so much knowledge in this woman. Could not help but ask her to come and have a chat with us today about intention and the power of intention and creating a plan. We met a few months back in the wellness retreat that I was managing and got deep into a conversation because Manda was doing some juice fasting at the time. We're doing juice fast, Manda, or water fast?
Water fast.
That's right, water fasting. And, you know, it's not something that everybody goes into, that kind of level of health and wellness experimentation. So we connected straight away. I think I'd not long done my water fast and had some interesting experiences. And since then, we've caught up a few times. But Manda, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you, Karen. Thank you, ladies, for having me on. I'm very grateful to be here.
Oh, we're so grateful you said yes. I guess today we really wanted to talk about intention because I know that there is a lot going on. We're running our online retreat where we've got people who are creating plans to get their health and wellness back on track. Energetically at the moment, there is a lot going on in the world. Like there's a lot of chaos and people are getting overwhelmed, stressed, just completely feeling like they're losing control of what's going on to a degree. And I know personally, I had a bit of an experience with that myself recently. So this couldn't really come at a better time. I know you're creating a course on intention as well. Is that correct? You've got a course coming up soon?
I have got a 6-week online program coming up shortly. So I guess, what you just said is right. There's so much going on. We don't need to tell anyone that there's so much going on outside of ourselves. And, there's so much chaos and we really can't control it. And we never have been able to control it, but it's more evident than ever that we really can't. We can't control our lives. We can't control what's next. We can't control what happens from one moment to the next. But the one thing we can control is ourselves, our response to situations, the way we deal with things, our state. So I'm really passionate about helping people, I guess, and it's my journey to now, but helping particularly women, but men and women, really connect with their, who they truly are. Like my coaching business is called True Self Coaching because it's like the soul essence, like the truth of who you really are. And, we are incredible, all of us, every single human being, except the way that we've been conditioned and programmed to live is very disconnected from that, very disconnected from our true self. And so really all of my work that I do is about bringing people back, guiding people back to that, to them true selves, the innate worthiness that we all are. We're born as this little baby, a beautiful baby, and we are worthy, we are incredible, we have incredible self-worth, self-esteem, we are in this beautiful, incredible world that we've just landed in, full of wonder and excitement for the future. And somewhere along the way, or along our journeys, we lose touch with that innate worthiness. And so, bringing people back to who they truly are is, I guess, in an essence of a nutshell of my work and what I'm very passionate about.
And right now, like at the moment, do you feel like that, the things that are going on around us, that coming back to your worth is one way of just feeling like you can breathe again? Because you're right, the overwhelm comes from feeling out of control and maybe trying to fit within a system that we don't necessarily fit in. And now the structures are falling down all around us as well, which creates some panic and overwhelm. So I've gone away from intent. We're going to go back towards intent, but coming back to self and self-worth and belief and understanding that whatever is going on for you at the moment, that it's okay. And there are some things that we can do to help to remove some of that anxiety, some of that overwhelm, some of the panic. Are there process steps that you would generally follow or suggest in relation to that?
Yeah. Great question. So I guess, no matter what is going on outside of ourselves, and right now it's dialed up massively, but no matter what is going on outside of ourselves in any situation, inside, within, when we can find that stillness to bring our attention, our intention, our focus, and create space for connecting to ourselves, then within there is calm and peace and contentment and wholeness. It's all there. And so I guess that the foundation of my teachings when I am running programs and so on with people, so more with group programs, the foundation for all of that is stillness, and that can be through meditation. Everyone knows the word meditation and has, but that the word meditation, the way we label something can have a lot of different meanings to different people. And so I like to use the word stillness because we can find stillness in things that we love to do. It could be sitting under a tree. It could be being really present with our child. It could be swimming. It could be having a bath without any sound or visuals and just being with your breath. It can be meditation. But the more that you can build that foundation of stillness where you're not in your mind and not in your thoughts, or maybe not in your thoughts is a little bit too much, because of course our mind is still, as soon as there's space, our mind fills it. But however, if we can create more opportunity to quieten our mind and connect in with our physical body and our heart, and there are practices that I teach to do that, but essentially it's creating space and focus around creating the space and the time to connect with your body and with your heart, and bringing yourself out of your mind. Because in that space, the chaos isn't there. The stress isn't there. This is this beautiful space when we can begin to live our life from our heart space, from our guidance, our intuition, our higher self. There's many terms that we can use for this. But when we can begin to live our life from our heart space rather than our mind, and of course our mind is wonderful. We need it. I love it. It's valuable. However, we're living from our mind. We're not living from our heart or our guidance, right? Our innate guidance that's there for all of us. But when we begin to listen to create the space, listen to our guidance and follow from that space, then what happens is we receive the guidance and then our mind comes in. But then we're taking aligned action. Then we're living from a space of calm where there is the clarity, because when we're up here with all this chaos, it's like, I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know who I am. I don't know what's next. I'm worried about this. I'm stressed. I'm overwhelmed. I'm exhausted. Everyone's exhausted because of all this functioning energy, which is primarily in our running our lives from our minds or from our brains, from our headspace.
And so, Manda, what do you have any like tips for people like me who has a very, very noisy brain? So just for example, the last 2 nights, I have had maybe 2 hours of sleep. That's not usual for me. I'm one of those people who usually sleeps very well. There is a lot going on in my head right now. And it's so noisy that eventually the only way I was able to sleep is that I put an audiobook on with my headphones in my ear and put it up really, really loud, almost like the audiobook was drowning out my head. And I had to focus on what the audiobook was saying, was how I could eventually fall asleep. So for people like me who there's, like constant noise in your head, do you have any tips for people like that to kind of find that stillness?
Yeah, sure. So, this is really, really, really common, that like it's very common. And so I guess the tips, there's many things, but I guess the key ones that would come to mind is really focusing on that. So saying, you know what, I want to change this. I don't want to continue. So the first thing is making that choice. And I guess that's coming back to our theme, which is intention, right? I have a choice now. I want to change this. I don't want to continue to live this way. What do I need to do? Because everything, it's a daily practice. It's not something we can just go, okay, well, let's do that today and tomorrow will be fine. It's actually a completely different way of living. And so it does take, I don't really like to use the word commitment too often, but it does take commitment. It does take commitment. So practically though, a few things that I teach, I like to call, this sacred 60, which is like the sacred 60 minutes of each day. And it's like the last 30 minutes before you go to sleep and the first 30 minutes when you wake up. And, working with the unconscious mind, the different brain waves, like as we're winding down, the way that we go to sleep, so the way that we spend out the last 30 minutes before we go to sleep is really important. So we really want to wind down, get away from screens or social media or news or stimulating drinks or food or anything stimulating basically, and do things that are really filling yourself with goodness. I like to say filling yourself with goodness. So that can be gratitude. It can be having a bath. It can be meditating. It can be going for a quiet walk, but really being mindful of how we go to sleep. So what we do with that last 30 minutes before we go to sleep. And then also the same when we wake up. So there's lots of studies to show that the way that we go to sleep, so if we go to sleep cranky or overwhelmed or stressed, that's exactly how we'll wake up. So if we can go to sleep like feeling grateful, like a beautiful practice that I love to share with my clients is you have a crystal or a rock next to your bed, and before you go to sleep, it's just like a reminder. You pick up the rock and you scan your whole day, all the things that happened, and you sort of go over everything and think of all the things that you were grateful for. And it can be from the tiniest things, like a smile from the barista, or it can be anything and you scan your whole day and think of all the things that you're grateful for, and then you choose one that you're like, that's the one I choose today, and you go to sleep holding the rock and just really thinking and feeling about that gratitude. And that can completely, because that's the way you go to sleep. So then you wake up the next morning and you'll be amazed how different you'll feel. So, and then same thing in the morning, many of us go and we grab our phones, straight into stimulation, straight into stress, straight into exactly what we were living the day before. If we want to break habits, and especially the unconscious mind, we're on autopilot, so we're just going to keep repeating the same thing unless we break the pattern. So again, like, what do I normally do when I get up? I do this, this, and this. Okay, tomorrow I'm going to break the pattern and I'm going to do these other things to really set up my day. Another thing I just want to probably mention briefly is working with energy. So, and I can teach you a practice later, and perhaps send you a meditation to help you clear your energy, so to clear your field. And it can be very simple and easy, but very effective to clear your energy field, because during the day we're going to be picking up other people's energy, we're going to be picking up energy from situations, we're reading things that are stressing us out, and ideally, just like washing our body in the morning or having a shower at the end of the day, we want to be clearing our field or cleansing our auric field of energy that is not ours. And so that can really help when you start to bring that in as a daily or even a few times a day as a practice to clear all these things that you're picking up along the way that are not actually yours. Yeah. Is that helpful?
I hope so. You're like, clear the energy. I'm like, I'm still figuring out what that is. But yeah, I think so. I think definitely for me too, like what you were saying about the way that we go to bed, I'm generally a person who is going 100 miles an hour from the minute I wake up until the minute I get into bed. And I could still have a few things going on when I go into bed. And so you're right. When I go into bed, I'm generally, there's a lot kind of happening. And then of a lot of the time of other people's things, because I guess what we do in our work really is, you know, we help people with their health or their wellness or, you know, and in general, the three of us connected because we love helping people. And so most of our day is spent, if we're noticing that somebody is struggling, is reaching out. Like, how are you? What are you doing? Is there a way that I can help? And so a lot of our day is spent with those people. And so some of those are simple things and some of those are really heavy things, and they stay in your head. And so then you add on top of that everything that's happening in the world and how that's impacting each of us in a different way, you know, plus personal stuff, plus everything else. It's like a whirlwind going on. And so it makes sense that if I'm kind of not giving myself that space, I'm focusing on putting the rest of the family to bed and, you know, then the dishwasher and and everything until like the last thing is like have a shower and get into bed, but the mind's still going. So taking a bit of time for myself to quiet down before bedtime definitely sounds like something simple that I could certainly do. I might need some help with the energy stuff because I wouldn't know where to start with that. It's not like, it's something that I guess because of Karen, I'm trying to learn more about, but it's not something that it's comes sort of natural to me, I think.
Yeah. And, you know, it doesn't come naturally to us because we haven't been taught.
Correct.
You know, that we're like everything's energy. We're energetic beings. We've got energy around us, but we haven't been taught this. You know, I'm teaching my now 8-year-old son how to clear his energy field and how to. I'm sorry, we might be going off track, but anyway, just trust this. The other morning, the morning from yesterday morning, we just started playing in bed, just talking, and I said, I'm going to see if you can feel the love, my love. So see if you can feel the energy of my love in my heart. So I'm going to think about something else, and then when I start thinking about you, see if you feel a difference. And so we're just lying there, and he's like, and I started thinking about the tree, and then I went to like thinking about him and sending love to him and feeling that my love for him. He's like, now, Mum. So he could actually feel that energy shift, and then he did. And I'm like, now? He said, yes, that's it. And we, you know, so because we haven't been taught that we are these energy beings walking around with this energetic field, picking up stuff all the time that's coming into our field, and, you know, and with clients or with those of us who are in service to others, we're picking up all their stuff as well, feeling, you know, many times it's unconscious. We're not deciding to carry their bricks for them. However, we are, because we're empathic and because we are here to serve and we want to help. But what we're not learning is how to shield ourselves from that and how to let them keep their bricks, because it's actually of the highest for them and for us. Because when we're only carrying around our consciousness, we're only walking around with our stuff, we can be of such greater service. You know, if I didn't clear my energy, I would not be, I would be exhausted. You know, I would be taking the things that I hear from clients, that, you know, the things that people experience. It's heavy. It's you know, life is not easy. It's amazing, but it's not easy. And so, yeah, starting to understand that we are energy, everything's energy, and how to shield ourselves, how to clear our energy, how to cut ties with people, because we form these energetic ties. You would have heard of it, but in many cases we don't know how to recognize it, how to feel it, how to just quickly and easily cut it, which is as simple as really having a shower, how we ensure that we wash all parts of our body. It's very similar. And, you know, the where we're at with the planet, you know, we can go from being very unaware of all of this to being able to feel things in our field very, very quickly. It's pretty phenomenal. So, which is really exciting. You know, it's really exciting.
I love what you said about your son, because I actually spoke about this on my Instagram the other day. I had a really stressed morning. I think it was Monday, and we were all running out the door. So I have obviously this little one here with me, but I have a 2.5-year-old as well. So she was off to daycare, and my partner and I, we were getting more and more like, we have to go. Daddy's going to be late for work. Like, and you know, she doesn't care. And finally got her in the car. And I knew that if I didn't calm myself down before we got to daycare, like daycare drop off would have been a nightmare. I knew it was coming. It's happened before.
Yes.
I'm sitting in the car, like, let's get calm. Like, it's all right. And then we got out of the car and we held hands. And I said, you know, what are you excited to do today? And at the door, they have like hand sanitizer and a tissue. And she wanted to stop. She's like, I got to blow my nose. And if I hadn't calmed myself down, I knew I would have been like, you don't need to blow your nose. Just get through the door. But I was like, yeah, sure. Grab a tissue. Like in my head saying this, but trying to be really calm. And it worked. Like daycare drop off was fine. Like, so we went from like having a temper tantrum, getting into the car basically, to like a really peaceful drop off. So like, yeah, I totally am with you with the calm, like, and just getting that centered. And it's definitely something I'm still working on. But when you spoke about your son is what kind of triggered this with me. So my 2.5-year-old has a lot of energy and a lot of, we'll say attitude. Yvette says sass, but I'm going to say attitude.
She's got sassitude.
She's got a lot of it. I know you obviously work with adults, but is there something you would recommend for helping calm a child? Obviously calming yourself is helpful, as I've proved to myself, but how else can I kind of get her to, or just kids in general, to like be calm and take a deep breath? Because we say it to her, Kinsley, you're upset, take a deep breath. And she's like, no.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah. You know, and I have clients who come to me for their children, and I used to help a few kids here and there. Although over time you sort of get, you know, you sort of specialize, and now I mostly help women. But you know, if someone came to me about their child, then I'd immediately be talking to what's going on at home and how are you guys and what's the energy around home and all of that sort of thing. So exactly what you said, like you noticed as soon as you started to calm yourself down, it affected your child, and in fact affects, you know, everyone around us. I remember reading a book, I can't remember which one, of Dr. Wayne Dyer's, and he said like one, you know, for want of another word, a better word, like one enlightened person or one person who has raised their vibration or their frequency can walk into a room with something like 200 people and impact the entire room. So it definitely does start with us. But in terms of some practical tips with children, you know, it's you can teach them to, and you know, already kids are really present. So they're already very much in the moment. But however, nature is great, you know, teaching them to ground, like feeling the earth beneath their feet. So kind of tuning into one sense, one of their senses. So really like, okay, feel the earth beneath your feet, imagining you can ground them by imagining that you've got roots underneath your feet and feeling your connection with Mother Earth. And also, right, you want to talk slowly and calm, but it's not even what you say or how you say it. Of course, it's who we are and what we're modeling and how we are within ourselves, because we might be able to talk calmly and breathe and all these things, but if we're inside, we're like wound up, like just go to sleep, you know, then it's kind of a lost cause. So it does start with us already being in that state. So number one, get yourself into that state, and then secondly, probably once you're in that state, you'll see things quite differently. I'm just thinking with my son, because he's very hard on himself, and if he doesn't get something straight away, he does have a bit of a tantrum. So I've been working with him, and see, I am teaching him to clear his energy. That's one thing I am teaching him how to do that, and just like a practical way. Like he's 8, and I've you know, you can teach younger children this, maybe not 2.5, but just imagine the beautiful sun, and it's directly above your head, and there's the beautiful rays of the healing sun. Like just visualize the sun above your head, above the top of your crown, and just imagine those beautiful rays of sun coming down and streaming down, covering your whole body, clearing your energy, calming you down, feeling that beautiful healing from the sun. Can be pretty amazing, and you're getting their focus and you're doing it yourself. As adult, until our children are adults, we can actually do that for them as well. So that's another thing. If you can't teach a 2.5-year-old to do that quite yet, you can do that for them at night when you're putting them to sleep. So I'm clearing you could say it out loud or not. I'm clearing your energy now and just imagining beautiful, pure, divine light. Like, again, you're calm, connecting to your heart, beautiful, divine light, clearing your energy, relaxing you. Yeah.
I love that. I'm going to try that. Thank you. That'll be
welcome.
So good. Because she, like, exactly what you said, like a 2.5-year-old, she doesn't quite get stuff yet. Like, she kind of looks at you like, what are you talking about, Mom? Yeah.
And changing state, like getting them to something else. So it might be an environmental change, like they're inside having a tantrum in the lounge, or really highly strung. It's like, okay, let's go. I noticed this flower out the front. Let's go out here.
Yeah.
Or let's shake our bodies. Let's dance to this song. It's like changing your state is a really powerful way as well for adults and children, for all human beings. Yeah. I love shaking my body. It's a great one if you want to change your state. Shake your body like crazy.
Yeah, we notice a big difference if we have even just background music playing at home.
Yes.
She's in a totally different mood than if it's quiet and we're just doing stuff. We like to have music on. She's just almost a totally different person. Any kind of music. Doesn't have to be music she likes. It could be our music.
Great. And also classical music. The frequency of classical music is really high. So I've put classical music on. I take a few children to school, so you can imagine like 4 almost 8-year-olds in the car. It can be chaotic. I put classical music on if they're all bickering. I just turn on classic FM and you just watch it. Just tones right down. It's really beautiful because it changes the frequency in the car. So try that as well. Cool. Yeah.
When I was pregnant with her and going in labor, I kept turning on, there are things called the piano guys, but basically they take like pretty popular music, but they play it in that classical, like piano, violin. And I just found it so, so soothing. So next time she has a temper tantrum, I'm going to turn that on.
Yeah, beautiful. Beautiful.
Thank you.
Go.
Maybe just have it playing when she gets home from kindy, Jess. When you get home, just put it on while you potter around and see if it affects her mood.
Yeah.
Love that. Oh, that is amazing, Manda. I was actually thinking when you were talking about the crystal, holding onto crystal and focusing on the gratitude, etc. When my daughter was young and she had a real fear of public speaking, and so I bought her a confidence crystal. And when she was doing her public speaking, I would be like, okay, hold on to this. And then when you go on the stage and just focus your energy into that. And now, like, it's probably 12 years later, she still has it. And I was actually even thinking for Kinsley, potentially that's a really lovely practice to do before you go to bed. Jess, is sit down with her, get her a really beautiful crystal, get her to pick one. And then when she goes to bed, tell me 3 happy things today and hold on to this crystal and just think about it as you go to sleep to set her up as well. Might be a really nice practice.
That's a great idea.
Yeah, that's beautiful. And I've done relaxation with my son for a few years now, and he still asks for it every night. I want relaxation. And again, it's just that slow meditative voice, like, and I start from his toes, relax your toes, relax your feet, and I move all the way up, and we make a bit of fun of it. Relax your eyebrows and your eyelashes and your eyeballs, like all the way through. Relax your bottom, like, and then he has a little giggle, and so you're going through that before putting them to sleep. Again, it's that same practice of how they go to sleep is how they wake up. Like, let's get them really unwinding, just like we do. We're showing them that we do it too, but then we're teaching them how to do it. Like, what a wonderful thing to learn when you're 2 or 3 and live your life that way. Yeah.
So beautiful. Just coming back to intention, I'm thinking we've kind of diverted, but in a good way, to an intention of putting ourselves into a peaceful space as mums and for our children as well. So that has been beautiful, and I love that you've suggested some really great practices and ideas that we can try to implement, but also our listeners can implement as well. Thank you. I just have a question in relation to overwhelm. So with all of this intention and these practices and committing to, I guess, a time frame of following these practices to make them become more habitual, like, is that something that should be happening as well?
Yeah, 100%. It's a totally new way of living. Like it's a totally, when I say a new way of living, it's complete opposite to the way we've been taught to live.
Yeah.
So we've been taught, especially as women, all humans, but as women, we're not designed to be operating in as much of the masculine energy that we are, the doing, the hustling, the to-do list, the striving, the pushing, the competing, all of this masculine energy. And so very much with all of my female clients, we're bringing in and balancing out, because we want masculine energy as well. We want to get stuff done. However, we need to balance it out with the beautiful feminine frequency, this beautiful divine feminine frequency, which is a big part of who we are, of receiving, which is this turning inward so that we can receive, finding stillness so that we can receive. We still take the action, but it's aligned action. It's not like do, exhausted, overwhelmed, too much on, doing everything. It's receiving and aligned action. It's a completely different energy. And so back to your question about, was your question around
time frames? Like, so it should become a habitual practice. Is there a specific number of days? Like, should they commit to doing it for 2 weeks or a month every day to then create that?
Yes, every day. So, they say it takes around 4 weeks to change habits. So that's why my foundational program is intentionally 6 weeks. So, and it's an everyday practice, and we check in and how did you go? And because it is a new way of living, like to prioritize stillness over all of this stuff I've got to get done. Are you serious? No, I already have too much. You want me to be still for 5-10 minutes a day? No way. I've got too much on. Sorry, I'm too busy. Right. So it is completely different. You've got to prioritize it, which is why I talk about self-responsibility and, of course, intention. Like, it's like, I can't live like this anymore. I think something has to change. I am willing to change the way I live. And to do that, it means that I have to create sacred space for me. And, and we do it in a way that it's not another to-do thing. It's not a thing on your to-do list. It is this incredible sacred space that you create, filling yourself. That's why I say it's not necessarily meditation, but it's doing something that actually fills you, that you just want to do it. In fact, tomorrow you want to do it for 5 minutes longer. And then you see the impact on everything else that you're doing in your day, and how suddenly you're actually achieving more by doing less. And you're like, what? Okay, I'm going to do half an hour next week. So after 6 weeks, that's really what happens. I mean, it's earlier than 6 weeks. It's probably after about 3 or 4 weeks, depending on the person and where they're at and how much they put into it, of course, how dedicated they are to their own journey. But yeah, very quickly, the impact of everything around you, including your to-do list and what you achieve and the results that you are getting, makes you want to do it more. So yeah, but yes, definitely a daily practice. It's a daily practice. Because otherwise we just get back into we're just dragged back into the matrix, dragged back into the way that we've been taught to live, and that the majority of people are living. So, yeah.
I love that you've said that, because I have to be honest, with the various things that we do and the people that we speak to, probably the thing we hear the most of when we're talking about health changes or improvements in people's lifestyle is, I don't have time.
Mm-hmm.
And so people are in, a state of ill health or unwellness or, overwhelm or whatever it might be. And I feel like they almost feel stuck there, that they're in that space and they have no time to focus on themselves at all, to take that little minute to put the gas mask, the oxygen mask on themselves.
Yes.
Yeah. And so I guess for those people specifically that I have no time to do any self-care people, what's the minimum of time that they could start with to just take a moment for themselves? We call it the bare ass minimum. What is your bare if you just have to take one step in that direction, what would someone's to start with getting that consistency, I guess?
It would be finding more stillness in your day. And that could be, you might say 10 minutes a day, I'm going to say for many people it might be I'm going to not have my phone with me. I'm going to go and sit in nature if that's something that you like. And I'm going to be there for 10 minutes. I'm just going to be with myself. And I know my mind will be busy. I know I might think of to do things, and I know I might worry about that. But you know what? I'm just going to give myself 10 minutes to just be and connect with my breath, and maybe see how my body's feeling. Maybe ask myself how I am, perhaps. We've got ourselves for our whole entire life. We are with ourselves our whole life. So I don't know. I think it might be a good thing to prioritize our own well-being, and this affects everything. So like you said, so many people are unwell, and again, it's that disconnection. We're disconnected from ourselves. Well, we don't even know what's going on in our body. I've got to sort this, I've got to sort that, I'll go to the doctor, I'll get a tablet that covers that up. Now this is going on, I'll cover that up. But if we actually get connected through finding this time to meet ourselves and be with ourselves, then we can actually figure out what's going on and start to shift it, because we're all healers. We can all heal ourselves when we start to connect with ourselves and meet ourselves. So 10 minutes a day, 10 minutes of stillness without any other distractions, and also being really kind to yourself. So knowing that, okay, my mind might be busy, but that's okay. I'm just going to go and be with myself for 10 minutes, doing something that fills me up, whether that's a bath or nature, but being with myself and meeting myself where I'm at without any judgment, just being with myself.
I think it's so simple and we make it so complicated.
Oh, yeah. That's the thing. I read something the other day. You could write the meaning of life or the purpose of life on a tiny little rock, because that's how simple it is. And it really is. We have lost touch with who we are. It's that simple. So all we need to do is connect with who we are. Forget about all this stuff outside and turn all of your attention and intention and focus inside. And then all of your problems will suddenly, very quickly, be resolved. It's like magic. That's who we are. It's actually who we are. We are incredible.
That's such a gift. Thank you so much, Manda, for sharing with us today. I feel like each of us has got some fantastic practices to walk away with and try for ourselves and for our family and our listeners as well. I'm certain that they will have also picked up some fantastic little hints and habits. They can connect with you through social media. Is that the best place for them to find you?
Yes, or my website, which is mandajennings.com.
mandajennings.com, and we will share your information through the podcast information as well, so that they can connect with you. You do have a course coming up, which is a 6-week course starting in November. Yes. So they can connect with you if they're interested in getting some more information and support. But you also do one-on-one sessions as well. Is that correct?
Yes, one-on-one sessions, and also hold women's circles online and live in Brisbane.
Oh, exciting. And are the women's circles monthly, weekly?
Yes, they're monthly. Yeah.
All right. Amazing. Well, maybe that's a whole nother conversation that we can have with you down the track. Thank you so much for your time. I'm really grateful for you for sharing with us today.
Thank you. Thank you so much, ladies.
Thanks so much, Amanda. And for everybody listening, please feel free to head over to our podcast on your favorite platform. Like and subscribe, and please make sure to connect with us if there's anybody that you'd like us to chat to, any particular topic you'd like us to cover. We're always open to your suggestions. Hope you, wherever you are in the world, you're having an amazing day. Bye. Thank you for listening in to this episode of The Transformation Project. The Transformation Project is not just a podcast. We're also a community. We're a collective of like-minded people all around the world seeking to live their best life and raise each other up. We're looking to support you, set goals, get healthier, connect with yourself and others at a deeper level, and better understand yourself and the world around you. We're always looking to link arms with like-minded people wanting to create more out of life. You can connect with us via our website, which is www.thetransformationproject.net.au. Email us at support@thetransformationproject.net.au. or simply listen in to one of our podcast episodes, which can be found on all podcast platforms, including Apple Podcasts, Spotify. You can even watch some of our episodes on our YouTube channel, simply called The Transformation Project. Please like and subscribe to make sure you hear all the incredible shows and guests we have lined up. If you have any feedback or any comment, we would love to hear those, as well as any ideas or guests that you think we should be interviewing in future. Thank you for joining us on this episode of The Transformation Project.